Beep, beep, beep. Welcome to the Court of the Edijester. How are we doing, good people? We're still on the trail here of the UKRI EDI advisory group. So we've got another person in this particular bunch of personages. We introduced today Ilaria Boncori. As you can see, Ilaria is part of the advisory group working with UKRI, there we are, number 4 on our list, and is at the University of Essex. But, he says, what exactly is Ilaria up to? Well, let's get started. Subscribe, the usual, buy me a coffee if you can to help me out, or follow me on X, YouTube's, subscribe, share, etc. Right? So let's go. Now, so, I've got a description of her here. In her exploration of a diverse range of feminist perspectives, Boncori's book delves into the intersections of identity, gender, and sexuality within academic discourse. Its contribution lies in providing a holistic approach to writing differently, guiding an important reimagining of academic engagement. It's just like, I don't know how I'm keeping going at this point. Honestly, I don't. With 6 chapters seamlessly woven together, the book guides the reader through critical reflections on neoliberal influences, the distinctive approaches of writing differently, framing through intersectional and interdisciplinary perspectives, and the transformative potential of qualitative research methods. The logical progression of chapters create a cohesive narrative, from critiquing norms to extending mentorships to emerging scholars, providing a roadmap for those committed to embarking in writing differently. I don't even know what half of that means. Does anybody have any idea what any of that means? Right, so then we've got here an article. Excuse me, an article, right? Written by Ilaria Boncori, Olga Sumulinova, and Sarah Seekite O'Shea. Right. In this article, we challenge the mainstream view of gender rooted in binary cisnormativity and suggest that gender frameworks used to inform organisational research and practice are inadequate with respect to the range of transgender and non-conforming identities. A new acronym has dropped. I can inform you this morning, breaking news, here at the Edijester, TGNC, transgender and non-conforming identities. We employ hacking's dynamic nominalism to illustrate how evolving classifications of transgender and non-conforming people operate as a discriminating factor that threatens their lived experiences. As an alternative to the binary cisnormative metaphor of gender as a spectrum, we adopt a more inclusive metaphor of a gender constellation. Oh my God! Gender is no longer a spectrum. I can report here that the loons have decided gender is no longer a spectrum. It is actually a constellation. And sketch out its potential conceptualization that promotes multidimensional, non-hierarchical and dynamic approaches to gender diversity. Oh, just get in the bit. We're paying for this, cobblers. Have you had enough? Because I've had enough. We're paying for this, cobblers, right? So I went looking for other stuff that I could find, right? And we got this from 2019. I've been building LGBT plus inclusion at the university. I've been working at the university since 2007, and one of the aspects I've enjoyed most about my work is the ability to contribute to causes or projects I care about, even when it's not part of my formal role. So you're an interfering busybody, right? Okay. Wanting to make change, positive impact on people's lives. I have seized the opportunity to propose change that foster inclusion and to work with colleagues across teams in order to design, amend, or develop more inclusive policies and practice. So you really are an interfering busybody. That's what you are, isn't it? It's just insane. The university has been promoting and enabling an inclusive approach for many years now. However, we recently made a step change in our practice by embedding inclusivity as the lens through which we approach everything we do, rather than an additional process of check. In other words, inclusivity is before everything. It's taken over the university. Over the past 5 years, been able to make a significant contribution to LGBT plus inclusion. God help us. God help us from the LGBT plus affinity group nut jobs. Right? It's just insane. Right, but let's go to the end. Let's go down to the end. Bottom right, I'm looking at now. Bottom right. The development of a pronouns initiative whereby all staff were encouraged to put their pronouns in email signatures only if they feel comfortable in doing so. Yeah, right, kindly bloody communists. And to introduce themselves in meetings using their pronouns. Pronoun badges were also produced. In other words, you built a great big club, and anybody who didn't take part, you could then identify and ignore. Is that what you did, Ilaria? Honest to goodness, it's just, how far will this go? This is UKRI. Bear that in mind again. I have to keep saying that. UKRI. Bear that in mind. UKRI using this kind of utter garbage and drivel to push forward their equity, diversity and inclusion plans. It is insane. It is enough to drive us round the bend, and it is seriously going to affect our ability to carry out good academic work. I've got no doubt in my mind about this. No doubt in my mind. This is the kind of ass gravy that is going to get smeared all over every discipline because they're an interdisciplinary. Remember, it's a template. The template is placed over the top of an existing organization, body, discipline. And in doing so, it utterly destroys that discipline. And this is now going on at the highest levels with the largest amount of money possible. The 8 billion that they've got of our money that they're using. How much are they using for this bullshit? That's what I want to know. Who on earth thought this was a good idea? So we're going to add Ilaria Boncori, with the emphasis I feel there is on the bonk, who may be a different person than I'm seemingly portraying her as. She may be a lovely, wonderful individual. But it is my conjecture that she shouldn't be anywhere near academia, and that she certainly shouldn't be anywhere near the root funding of the engine room of Britain. Because that's where she's at. That's where she sat, right in the engine room of Britain, ready to make sure that inclusivity is the only lens through which we see everything when we go about spending that money as an economic and social stimulus package. Where's the merit, Ilaria? Where's the merit? Where's the intelligence? Where's the talent? Where's the excellence? That's what we should be caring about. Merit, intelligence, talent, and excellence. Might. Ask the warrior teachers, they'll tell you. Go on, go do your thing. I can't believe this is real, but of course, it is. Keep going, folks. Lovely to see you. Bye-bye.